Montana State, with 5 games remaining, will have 2 against Southern Utah. The Thunderbirds have got 6 left this season themselves. SUU lost 195 at Northern Colorado in Greeley on Monday, a game in which they led by 17 points with 5.5 minutes to go. They are looking to get back on track, as are the Montana State Bobcats, who saw the second longest win streak in program history come to an end Thursday with a 2-point loss up at Eastern Washington, 88-86, the final. The starting lineups for Montana State: Abdul Muhammad, Xavier Bishop, Amin Adamu, Tyler Pattison, and Jabril Bello, who is at center court with Jason Spurgeon, who's out there with Fawcett, Knight, Marine, and Jones. Set to tip it up, and we are underway in Cedar City. Ryan McDaniel, Dan Dorian, and Riel Benaria are our referees here this afternoon. An all-time series dominated by Montana State that began 21 years ago. The Bobcats 21-6 all-time against the Thunderbirds. They've won 6 of the last 7. Bello, an early post touch with 8 on the timer. 5 to shoot. Bishop, one of the conference leader in assists, has it knocked out of bounds with 2 to shoot. And a good defensive sequence here on the opening possession for Todd Simon's team.
That's going to be a big part of this ball game. The number 1 scoring defensive team in the league is the Bobcats, and the Thunderbirds are going to have to match that intensity.
Bishop off balance. He gets it to go. How about that start? And 28 seconds of good defense results in 3 points for the visitors for our first points of the afternoon.
And the home team is the number 1 offensive team in the league, and going against the number 1 defense, something's got to give today.
Ten to shoot. Spurgeon off a career-high 22 points, kicks it out. Fawcett, that might have been tipped in the corner by Abdul Muhammad. And Montana State the rebound under the direction of third-year head coach Danny Sprinkle, who played for Montana State, was the Big Sky Freshman of the Year back in 1996 en route to the NCAA tournament. Trying to get his team back there, and they turn it over as Adamu loses it, and John Knight III has his league-leading 50th steal of the season. Knight backs down on Adamu, turns. Marine straight on, got it. Trey Marine has averaged just 5 points a game over his last 4. A good sign early for the redshirt senior from Glendale.
He needed to get off to a good start.
Bello, the hero of last year's Big Sky Conference Tournament semifinal win, has his first 2 points. He sent the game to overtime with a turnaround against these Thunderbirds to knock the top-seeded team out of the Big Sky Conference Tournament. Montana State went on to lose the championship game to Eastern Washington, who got a bid and ultimately lost to number 3 Kansas in the Big Dance. Fawcett with 10, his first post touch of the game, is fouled from behind. Amin Adamu, the 5th-year senior from England, one of 3 players from England on this Montana State roster. Assistant coach Chris Haslam does a lot of their international recruiting. They've got 6 players from overseas that are playing college basketball in Bozeman, Montana. And that's certainly not something you might necessarily expect, but it has worked out very well for the Bobcats this year as Fawcett steps out and makes his first 3 of the game.
Coach Haslam played 10 years of his professional career in Great Britain, so there's his connection to that London group.
First lead of the game for Southern Utah. They've made their first 2 shots, or their last 2 shots rather, from beyond the arc. Xavier Bishop probing, just 5'8" out there. He and Marine are the little guys on the court. Here go the Giants. Bello kicks it out. Adamu from distance. Marine has the board. Here comes Tevian Jones. Gets inside. Tough fall away. Can't get it off the square. Bello's got the rebound, and attacking in transition is something Tevian Jones has done a lot this year. Montana State defended him well.
They defended him well and made him take a very hard shot there.
Back to Bello, one-on-one with Spurgeon. He's about 15 pounds heavier than his Australian counterpart. Muhammad gallops and loses it inside. 10 to shoot. He throws it up over Marine, who can't believe the call. Todd Simon doesn't like it either. I think Dre Marine is trying to argue that he was straight up there, but nevertheless, it'll send a 72% free throw shooter to the line, who's just 3 of his last 6 at the charity stripe. But a look here at the foul. Boy, there's not a lot there on the replay.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more contact than that in the paint this afternoon between these two teams, especially with Bayo down there. And Spurgeon had his career-high night in the last game with 22 points, and he's going to need to play some really tough defense to make sure that he boxes out and gets some rebounds.
He will have to rebound, as you just said, with Tevian Jones going to the bench and Anand Moody, a quick substitution for the redshirt senior transfer from North Dakota. 2 free throws up and down, and it's a 7-6 lead for Montana State. As we're in the early portion of this first half, John Knight III has not shot the ball yet. Patterson all up in the grill of Moody, so he drives, pirouettes, and scores. Known as a sharpshooter, he had Patterson right up in his grill, used that aggressive defense to go right by him. Bello at the other end, barreling inside. He'll go to the line for 2. So 2 shots upcoming for the Lamar Community College transfer in Colorado, but back at the other end, Anand Moody doesn't go inside often, as you get another look at the replay here, but when Moody's able to get inside the arc and attack, he looks very comfortable.
Great reverse pivot to create some distance between himself and the defender to get that shot off.
Bello makes the first, a 70% foul shooter on the season.
We talk about Spurgeon needing to rebound. He comes out, and in comes the rebounder, Harrison Butler, out there, and that's his specialty.
So Southern Utah goes small, taking out Jones and Spurgeon, putting in Butler and Moody. Bello, a member of the 1,000 Point Club, the junior from the Barking Abbey School in London, has had an excellent couple of seasons for the Bobcats, averaging 14 and 6 boards a season ago. And he puts Montana State back up by 1. Thunderbirds can pull to within a half game of Montana State, who are currently leading the Big Sky Conference. Fawcett pump fakes and scores.
Great movement without the ball by Fawcett to get open.
Something he has done exceptionally well this season. He himself, a member of the 1,000 Point Club, was honored before the game. The behind the back dish, Adamu is blocked, and they're going to count the basket. Southern Utah right now is trying to argue that the ball was already coming down. Goaltending is the call.
Can't tell from there. I wondered if they said it had already touched the backboard, because I thought it was still going up.
We will see if the call is reversed on the other side. Not currently at the monitor. Back in Cedar City when we return.